Our next person to come is Reverend Dick Humphreys from the Conference Board of Pension and Benefits. If you would please come forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Bishop Williamston, members of the conference, clergy, and lay delegates. I am Reverend Dick Humphreys. I'm a senior adult, white male, retired clergy from the North District. The last time I stood before you to make this report last year, it was Centenary's 200th anniversary, you may remember. And I shared a little bit about my centenary story and how I met my wife, Jan, in the centenary cafeteria back in 1974. And I told a little bit last year about our wedding. And now I want you now to know that God was willing, the creek didn't rise, and May 15th of this year, we celebrated 50 years of marriage. So we're happy to celebrate that today. Sometimes even I, in using shorthand, will call it the Board of Pensions, but it's the Board of Pensions and Health Benefits. I think we all would agree that having quality health care is very, very important and very helpful. It almost goes without saying that when you are about to retire, to know that you have a good pension is a real blessing. Our report begins on page 104 in your pre-conference report book, and it contains a great deal of information. It reminds me of the man you may have heard about, Norman. He was lying in the bed in the ER of his local hospital, and he needed a blood transfusion desperately. And so the hospital staff told his wife that the only way we can save him is with this transfusion, but we need to know his blood type. And she did not have that information, tragically so. And so she, his wife, the only thing she could do was hold his hand and say goodbye. And then he died. But she was comforted by this one fact. She said, as he was breathing his last on earth, he said, whispering in his wife's ear, "Be positive, be positive." And she said, "I'll never forget how supportive Norman was. That was my husband, even to the end, always thinking about other people." Delegates of this conference, we on your Board of Pensions and Health Benefits have much for which to be positive, and I dare say even to rejoice. We are richly blessed here in this conference, and you heard about that numerous ways and numerous times. One of the things that has blessed our board this past year, and you've already been introduced to him, is that God sent Stephen Barlow to be our conference treasurer and financial officer. And I really mean that. After some interviews and some searching and some prayer, Van Stinson, right? God sent Steve, and we're so blessed and pleased with your excellent work. Thank you so very, very much. We appreciate you. We appreciate our benefits officer, Michelle Gerusos, who is here as well. She and her staff and others in the staff work behind the scenes and do so much and bless us in countless ways. Our report has 4 parts, as it usually does. It begins on 104, and report number 1 ends on page 146. I hope you've had a chance to look at it. Highlights of report number 1 include, first, a reminder that our board continues for several years now, in fact, to operate without the need of an apportionment because of our healthy reserves. 2, we voted as a board on our Zoom meeting in May to set the annual increase in the pre-1982 annuity rate at 2%. This is a nice little bump in what we receive as retired clergy. For those like myself who have years of service before 1982, back when Jimmy Carter and Ronald Reagan were president. Third, our 24 and 25 audited financial statements, which you have before you, our auditors have looked at all of our financial statements and have given us an unqualified opinion stating that our financial statements meet their standards. This is not only a blessing, but it's no small thing. because it represents the expertise and the hard work, the quality work of Steve and our staff. Then one more important part of this report, number one, you'll note that at the end of 2025, your Board of Pension and Health Benefits total net assets now stand, or stood at that time, at $86,948,639. That alone is reason to rejoice. And we are pleased to work with our partners in the United Methodist Foundation, along with our Merrill Lynch investment advisors, who've done well for us in terms of growing our assets. I will add that there are some arrearages on page 143. Those have accumulated over a number of years, and so we've been carrying them on the books, but since we have instituted the ACH for the payments from churches, we have done much better with that, and so we've absorbed those costs and will eventually be recouped. Report number two begins on page 147 and goes through page 152. These are our benefit offerings. As every clergy and lay delegate knows, 2026 ushered in two significant changes in the way benefits are provided and administered. First, Compass, the new 403B retirement plan. It's a defined contribution plan, and it is a plan that is mandatory by Compass for half-time, three-quarter, and full-time appointments. For 2026, WestPath increased, and this is good news, the parsonage value from 25% to 35% for purposes of calculating what we call total plan compensation, and that too is a very good thing. Details on how Compass works are found on page 148. The second big change that began January 1 of this year is HealthFlex, which was approved at last annual conference. HealthFlex is offered and administered by WestPath and is for full-time appointments. I checked the other day, and we have currently, I think, about 93 participants in the conference on HealthFlex. We on the board absolutely realize that making this transition to a new plan in a different network has been an adjustment. Please know that your board is doing everything that we possibly can to help every participant make this adjustment. And primarily, we do that through the premium credits that help keep your premiums as low as possible. In May, our board on our Zoom meeting also voted to keep the premium credit at a level that minimizes any increase you might experience in premiums for 2027. And I wanted you to know, if you haven't seen this, out there on the table where WestPath Representative Dale Jones has been faithfully standing and sitting and answering your questions, there is a particular sheet that I'd like you to pick up, particularly if you are part of HealthFlex. It's a sheet looking just like this that talks about the changes in HealthFlex that you can anticipate for next year. Please look at it, pay attention to it, and be informed. If you would like specific answers to your questions about coverage for 2027, I encourage you, and I got her permission to say this, please contact Michelle in our benefits office. More information, by the way, about 27 will be forthcoming in the fall. Our board also wants to emphasize that these premium credits, please hear this, the premium credits that our board makes possible to you are paid out of our reserves. Your board is going to evaluate annually the level of premium support that we can provide. And we must do this, especially given the fact that, as you know, healthcare costs tend to rise and rise and rise over time. WestPath has notified us of these changes, and that's why I mentioned this sheet in particular. There are some changes for next year, and you'll want to pay attention to those. Also want to highlight briefly WestPath's health and well-being programs through the Personify Health website and their app. We encourage you to do preventative care, to take care of your own health before you need a major medical care. This is to our advantage, to all of us. Under other benefits, I want to highlight once again for our retired clergy and their spouses, the Shepherd's Fund. Due to the large number of applicants across many conferences in the last few years, the board of the Shepherd's Fund voted early in 2026 to put a lifetime cap on the benefits that are reimbursed to $25,000 for either a clergy or their spouse. Clearly, this points to the great need for assistance when you get to a place where your regular income meets most of your financial obligations in a given month, but then that unforeseen surgery happens, and where do you turn then? Well, I just want you to know that just yesterday, the Shepherd's Fund approved my wife's application so that she can have a root canal that she had at 1:30 this afternoon. So that's an example of the benefits of the Shepherd's Fund. Report number 3, beginning on page 153, is simply a reminder to you as delegates of the HealthFlex plan that we adopted last year and the details. And finally, report number 4. Everybody excited? I'm almost finished. Report number 4. Our 4th report, beginning on page 158, is the 3 annual resolutions that must come before this body for adoption every year. I know this may sound like mere housekeeping, but these matters are very important. The 3 resolutions are as follows. First, the Compass Retirement Plan resolution that you adopt in your congregation. The second resolution is the healthcare plan resolution, and again, that you'll adopt that and pay those premiums for your clergy. And number 3, the third resolution, is the rental/housing allowance for retired, disabled, or former clergy of the Louisiana Conference. Just last year, I had a retired clergy person call me and said, "Dick, where do I locate the official statement of the annual conference stating that our housing allowance can be used as part of our figuring our federal tax obligation?" I said 2 places. It's on the Westpath website and also in your conference journal because we affirm it every year. So those are important things for some of us to know about. Finally, for our retirees, and I announced this today in our retiree luncheon, I am so pleased to announce, and the general body may not know this, but our retired clergy and spouses do, and they appreciate it. In fact, there was some applause at lunch today when I mentioned this. Our board approved for 2026 an increase in the health retirement account subsidy administered through VIA benefits from $2,760 per person last year to $3,600 for 2026. All of these wonderful increases in the benefits and blessings of our retired clergy in particular are made possible through the generous accumulated resources given through the Woolworth Foundation, and we are a unique and richly blessed conference in that way. I just want you to thank God again for the generosity of many people through the years. We are richly, richly blessed. Bishop, this ends my report, and I move its adoption.
Right. Are there any questions? Please go to a microphone. Okay. Seeing none, if the body does not object, will the body adopt the report of the Conference Board on Pensions and Health Benefits as presented? This comes from the board and needs no second. If there is no objections, the body adopts the report. Are there any objections? All right. Then it looks like the report has been adopted.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank the Conference Board of Pensions and Health Benefits. All right. Yeah. Okay. We need to go right to announcements. We're almost at the order of the day.